Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play the Journeyman Project 2, Buried in Time. We're going outside today, in the middle of the night.
Well, there's no question what kept Da Vinci the busiest. With his patron waging war against the Venetians, there must have been a lot of pressure on him to give the Duke a strategic advantage.
So welcome to Da Vinci's testing grounds for a lot of stuff.
With all of these siege machines laying around, there's got to be something out here that'll help us get into that tower.
Yes, and remember, that's what we're doing. We have to get into the tower on the other side. We're eventually going to be able to get over to that same direction, but we're going to have to do a bit of wandering around test materials around here.
Look, a primitive harvester.
A harvester of human lives.
Sorry, too many episodes of Tales from the Crypt. Still, those chopped hay bales are making me a little queasy.
You can stop being queasy when you're dead. Okay, I'm not doing that anymore. Anyway, moving on. Arthur can do that a lot better than I can. I will not do it. The thing that just takes me away with the Da Vinci's time zone is just the set pieces. Wonderfully well made.
Clever. Now if they were inflatable, then you'd have something.
Yeah, I doubt that. Each of these are supposed to be outlines for troops, soldiers, enemy soldiers, to see how his weapons would fare against, well, an attack. Now we got something here.
Oh, you don't want to go over there. That's where Presto put all the cheap, low-res ones.
Really, low-res... This is the main reason why I make the nitpick about sound problems, because it's this entire area, this entire outside section of Da Vinci Studio, where the sound balance is just off and Arthur keeps mumbling, so I can barely understand him.
Look, they let us go everywhere. They never would have finished the game.
Which is true. However, it does make everything a bit more confined. These look like spikes. Like what the police would put down. It's weird. It's ancient weird. We got a wall.
It looks like Da Vinci was testing out some of his designs for siege defenses as well. Trying to outwit himself, I guess. I wonder who's winning.
Of course, Arthur's always here for color commentary. Not when I'm around for. But if he wasn't here, this game would be a completely different experience, because otherwise you'd be just like, hey, look at this wall! What does it mean? I don't know. Look at this wall with these spikes. Look at the ground. Look at the... It's kind of why I'm always glad that Arthur's around. It's like just like the defense trench here. Or storage.
That's a large mortar.
No kidding. It's interesting to see all of these things in Da Vinci's sketchbooks kind of just come to life. As well as it can.
I've seen this in Da Vinci's sketchbooks. It's cleverly designed to hit the operator in the head with a barrage of rock.
Of course we have this wonderful, neat little, like, tons of gadgets. Gadgets everywhere.
Da Vinci designed a series of these multi-barreled guns, predating the invention of the Gatling gun by close to 400 years.
And I guess that is what this wall is used for. A big mess on it. Well, anyway, let's see about getting around somewhere else. I'm getting up. Nice moon, but getting up into the tower, I haven't even seen it yet. Alright, so the other side of the wall has our next puzzle. Involves this thing here. This entire bit. Arthur has a lot to say on it. And it's going to help us get into the tower that we need to go to.
Yep, straddling this baby's gotta really make you feel like a man.
It looks like a giant crossbow.
Okay, this must be what shoots the grappling hook for that climbing cycle contraption.
Seems to be.
I think we may be in luck. From here we've got a pretty good angle on the tower. Climb up there and see if you can hook the balcony.
Okay, let's just see what we can do. Okay, so let's see what we got here.
Well, there's a lever and 2 cranks. The lever's obviously for firing the grappling hook. The cranks must control the direction and angle of aim. It looks like the direction crank is only for making minor adjustments to aim, so you may have to get off and find a way to make it point in the general direction first.
Now, what he means by minor adjustments is that when you turn this wheel, like so, very slight. For what it looks like from the view window, we're looking at the completely different direction. So, yeah, we're needing to get off. Yeah, because, as you can see, the head part where the grappling hooks would be fired looks like it's hitting towards that wall over there. Looks like this thing was getting ready for test purposes, but of course the siege cycle wasn't ready yet, so it wasn't in full operation. So in order to turn this contraption, it looks like something down here would be able to do it.
That crank there looks like it's for gross positioning. You'll probably need to aim the ballista in the general direction you want to shoot before getting on.
Alright then. So, if this lever is for large turns, this should definitely help us with spinning this thing around. That is a lot of work for such a little turn handle. Words are escaping me today, apparently. But now it looks like we're at a proper positioning angle to hit the tower. Now we just have to make the fine adjustments. Simply hitting the lever will not make it hit actually anything, since you just saw that it just makes a thunk, and then it'll actually... It sounds like it auto-retracts, which is something good. So now it's time to make some very fine adjustments to where we're going to go. Simply the point of where we're shooting these grappling hooks is in between the crosshairs in the front of this. So let's shoot for the relative center of the moon. Perfect. And then bring it down a bit. We want to be able to hit about where the ledge of the tower is, where the balcony hits. This should be good. Alright then, now we have a fine connection all the way up to the tower. We don't have to do anything else with the grappling hook mechanism, so we should just be able to get on up there. Behold as I phase through! Okay.
Why are you standing around asking questions? Hook the cycle onto the rope and get us up there.
I want to lose more points. What do you expect from me? Yes, so this is the part where we put on that wonderful siege cycle we made. So let's bring it up. Ah! Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie me. Whew. Let's not do that. I'm gonna be right back and see if this doesn't happen. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. There we... Wonderful.
Well, we're halfway there. We've got the rope leading up to the tower. Now all we need is the cycle.
Why did that health message come up now? It's kind of odd. But now we actually have the cycle up there instead of a mess. Alright. Time for biking up the hill. This is extremely experimental. Do not try this at home. I was kind of wondering how we were going to get off, because we were brought up here simply by our own pedaling strength. Once we stopped pedaling, it was going to fall.
Hope we didn't forget anything.
I really hope not.
What? Did you forget to set the emergency brake? Let's just hope we can get through that door.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We're on the second tower with no way to get back down. There's where we started. Good times, good times. And, oh, that's a... This is a we can't go that way point. And in the distance, you can see the abyss. There's nothing else. Italy is very vacant of other places. Okay, so this is what Arthur's meaning by hope he didn't forget anything, because... it's locked.
It's locked? Talk about paranoid. Just look what we had to go through just to get up here. We're either going to have to use a key or resort to a little breaking and entering.
Uh-huh. Yeah. This is not... I don't think this is the case of the person who's up here. I think this is the case of Da Vinci, because the other part of the tower... well, the other tower was locked as well with the door. So you actually have to get this key and get the supporting evidence in order to open this door. If you don't, well, you're going to have to recall and do the entire time zone all over again. So, hope you have fun with that. Alrighty. Now it should be open.
Hey, what was that flash of light?
Well, we didn't catch him.
He's not in here. That flash of light must have been him jumping out when he saw you on the balcony. You must have startled him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Probably was from the click of the lock as well.
Leonardo's private study. I'd imagine very few people have even seen this.
Yeah. Anyway, if you heard correctly, there was something dropping on the floor.
Da Vinci's drum machine. Who'd have thought that Leonardo would have been the spiritual ancestor of the Pet Shop Boys? Actually, though, Da Vinci was also an accomplished musician and composer, and designed several musical instruments, such as the viola organista.
Arthur's mentioning this thing over here. And of course you can crank it at various speeds in order to make faster drum beats. But still, there's a matter of evidence somewhere. It's something he dropped, so it's on the floor. Surprised that Arthur has nothing to say about it. Very, very tiny indeed. Wonder what that is. Arthur has something.
What is that? Not something from this time, that's for sure. The other agent must have dropped it by accident. I wouldn't leave it there. It'll probably cause a temporal distortion.
Yeah, no kidding.
If the other agent's suit is the same as yours, then in order to drop that lens filter, he must have had it out of his temporal pocket, which means that he was using it. If that's the case, then maybe it can help you find whatever it is he changed.
Yeah, 'cause a lens filter. You know what? Yeah, the game can't even describe what it does, but let's just say it reveals hidden things.
If the other agent's suit is the same as yours, then in order to drop that lens filter, he must have had it out of his temporal pocket, which means that he was using it. If that's the case, then maybe it can help you find whatever it is he changed.
Thanks for repeating the help message, Arthur.
Try looking around a bit while you've got that lens filter on.
Well, I'm not going to put it on just yet. Actually, let's look at if we can navigate the... Navigation. Alright, so now we got our second set. So, an electronic device inconsistent, of course, because it belonged with the other agent. We'll have to see what it actually does. Soon enough, anyways. It also looks like the agent has this part up. Or at least that's what it was, anyways. Let's see if we can't go down. Give us a shortcut, maybe? That's not the sound I don't think would be for this kind of mechanism, but I guess it's the only one that Presto has.
I think it's jammed. Whoever was up here before us wasn't particularly careful.
No kidding. Alright, so we're definitely at least stuck up here. Luckily, this is the end of the time zone. So let's just poke around. Again, this is his private study, so let's see what's going on.
Cool, but where are the action figures to go with them? Probably back at your place, huh, Gage? Sorry. Now, those aren't toys, so be careful.
What, are they active models? Because I've heard of, like, making miniatures for tests, but... that little mortar can shoot a little mortar ball? I'm a bit nervous. That's also the primitive Gatling gun model, too. Yeah, I don't want to touch them. Ever. Got a bowl over there looking nice and happy. And we also have... Huh. Ugh, those look pleasant.
Preserves. Human heart. Looks like we're in Hannibal Lecter's pantry.
I ate his liver with a flying machine and a nice Chianti.
A meal in the sky is the best meal.
It's no wonder Leonardo was being so secretive. Human dissection was strictly forbidden by the church and might have gotten him arrested if anyone were to find out about it. Certainly the scandal wouldn't have put him in the Duke's favor. The elevator seems like it would have been a good idea for getting the cadavers up here on the quiet, though.
Yeah, if he was found out for this kind of thing, I wonder if he would share a jail cell with Galileo. Although I don't think Galileo shared a jail cell. He was just ridiculed and humiliated until his death.
What do you want to know? It's a human heart. If you're that spellbound by it, take it with you. I'm sure Leonardo has spares.
Yeah, I can't take it. Also, it's out of its jar. Oh god. Is it just me, or does the top part of the heart look like a foot? I know it's not supposed to be. I know it's supposed to be various valves, but... preserved in a jar of liquid, which is not with us anymore. Yeah, anatomical studies. If you know anything about Leonardo da Vinci and his art, yeah, that's... I guess so. But this is actually something we need, because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't be able to finish the final time zone yet. No, actually, I passed over this. Well, that zoom in was very, very helpful. Arthur, any thoughts?
Gage, look at these sketches. Da Vinci originally began studying anatomy as a foundation for his art, but his insatiable thirst for knowledge eventually drew him to the study of the human body in a lot more depth. In one of his writings, he talks of 120 books of anatomy that he had written. None of them were ever found, but what notes and sketches have survived show that he did an in-depth study of human physiology. No one else had mapped the human body as comprehensively, partly due to the interdiction from the church.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that I know actually what I'm looking at, thanks to Arthur, I can see the skull, and there's various sketches here. It's still very hard to see, though. I don't think the Translate biochip actually does any help. That means I actually have to go all the way up here. Yeah, nothing from the Translate. Alright. Okay. So we have our item that we need, however, we still need the critical evidence for this place. Otherwise, we're not done here. Luckily, there's a second half of the tower, and more evidence.
Gage, these are Da Vinci's notebooks. Or 3 of them, anyway.
Good of you to notice. Now, there's still more we can look at, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at more of these sketchings. Translate biochip, anything to say to me? Nope. You think in some places you'd be able to translate it, like back in, like at the school desk where the siege cycle contraption was in the sketch? You really think I'd be able to translate something like that, but nope, apparently not. Things are dangling off of the ceiling. These things, to be precise. You can still go further as well. And further. And further, and further. Whoa. Yeah, it seems something did a number. I don't think that this is going to be used whatsoever. I don't think Leonardo did this either. May have been that agent. Yep, no can do there. Anyway, so we have some goodies. Goodies I can touch. No goodies? No? Oh. Hello. No, good. Wobbly men. Anything else? That's it? Nope. Nope, just the wibbly dudes? Alright. Still the matter of these dangling things. I know you're able to look at them. Somehow. Not lying here. There we go. I can look at them. Here we go.
More flying machines. Da Vinci began studying flight here in Milan, and it remained an obsession for him until the last years of his life. He actually made some remarkably keen observations on air resistance, the eddying motion of fluids, and the mechanics of the flight of birds. It's even been said that he himself attempted to fly, but that's really just a legend.
And then who is able to fly but Ezio Auditore himself? But that is completely inaccurate. Fly like the bird you are. I can't do anything with these dingles. Dingly danglies. Sure was able to. Oh well. Anyway, back at the task at hand. We have some sketchbooks to look at. And to examine. Looks like... it's interesting.
They look pretty normal, but who knows? There could be something hidden here that we just can't see.
Let's take a look at this anyways. Just got some simple things here. Nothing... no? I like that there's a red border around the entire half of those pages that apparently is trying to translate something, but is not able to. Probably it's because it wasn't put into the game at all. Nothing? Nope. Okay. Let's see what the other books have to say.
Oh, that's nice. Serves you right for buying mail order. It'll translate every known language, but it can't recognize Latin written backwards? And you didn't even get a set of Ginsu knives.
You and your Ginsu knives.
If there was a secret message in the writing, someone would have found it. Unless it was invisible to most forms of detection. Oh, I've got it. Try using that lens filter you picked up.
One more. There's one more book here.
I recognize these sketches. This is the Codex Atlanticus. It's his most famous manuscript, covering some of his most prolific studies.
This was known as his Book of Flight, if you will. Very rough sketches, anyways. Wow. And very in-depth writing, I will say. Yeah. Most likely, there's nothing translated here. It's because Presto doesn't have access to the books. So, and they're all about... And honestly, I respect them for being accurate, so... I can't fault them for not being able to put down anything. Especially when there's so much. The game probably just couldn't handle it. Yeah, there's the wings. Alright then. Now, anyway, what Arthur was saying. So we just looked at those 3 books, now we're gonna have to look through them again, because there's some secret hidden mojo in here. By means of this lens filter. But how do we use it? Well, you gotta click on the picture anyways. Alright, so now it's secured to our camera lens. Now we should be able to look at this again. And maybe... you can see something hidden in here. Not that book. No, not this book either. Supposedly the lens filter should be doing this automatically, so... The Codex Atlanticus. If you remember back from the extra videos with the Louvre, the Codex Atlanticus was among the items, including Richard I's sword and one of Arthur's sculptures. Hello. Deflected electron beam, horizontal deflection amplifier, a bunch of really complicated mathematical equations? What would these possibly be for? Diagrams? Why would you write them in the Codex Atlanticus? How dare you defile this? Looks like light traveling through prisms, formulae, bell curves, very complicated stuff that honestly I think are just scribbles, but in terms of the game's background and story, they have a much more important meaning. Especially when you have this mix of graphs together. But that is our critical information for this time period. We can go all the way up to the evidence now. We get the mathematic formulae inappropriate for this area. Or this era. Area and era, anyways. So that gives us 3 out of the 4 pieces of critical evidence. Wonderful. Now, actually, in walkthrough mode, I should point out, you cannot once you put on the lens filter in walkthrough mode, you actually can't take it off. However, in adventure mode, you have the option to. And since I don't want it on all the time, I might as well just take the lens filter off for the time being. But that looks like that does it for Da Vinci Studio. We have another piece to a puzzle but we still do not know what the puzzle is. And hopefully we'll be able to figure that out next time. Or soon. But anyway, now that we're done here, we might as well just take our time and jump to the final area. We're done with Feinstein Lab, done with Chateau Gaillard, and finally done with Da Vinci Studio. Which means that we can make our final trip and our one return to Chichen Itza. Seeing as I've already finished a third of that area, and now we have all of the necessary items in our overly bloated inventory system now, we can finally go through without being stopped. So see you next time, everyone, as we return to the Mayan underworld. See you next time, everyone.